Just 2 days, of course, after the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. One of the most important events in an American election year is set to begin. Trump, who is the presumptive Republican nominee, has arrived in Milwaukee ahead of that Republican National Convention. The Secret Service says security measures are already tight in and around the venue there. Brendan O'Connor is a professor of American politics at the University of Sydney's US Studies Centre. He joins us live from Sydney. Thanks for your time. So ordinarily, as I was saying there, the Republican convention would be a major event in the political calendar. But, of course, following the attempt on Trump's life, it's now set to be extraordinary. And so much, of course, will matter exactly on how Trump chooses to react and what words he will choose to use. What do we expect?
Well, these events are always heavy on crowd participation, large audience of delegates who usually seem like they've had very large amounts of fizzy, sort of sugary drinks, excitement, balloons, lots of American flags. I think that atmosphere will be amped up, obviously, after the near-death shooting of Donald Trump. There'll be also, I think, a sense of Trump playing a kind of victim, that everyone's out to get him, including this lone shooter. So I think it will just, as you said, be a convention at fever pitch, where they're usually at a kind of level of a combination of a kind of political rally and a children's birthday party with balloons and all the rest of it. So quite the sort of spectacular event.
The assassination attempt seems to have coincided with Trump being allowed back on certain social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram. I mean, he seems to, on both of those platforms so far, to have restrained some of his perhaps worst instincts after the attempt on his life. But the speed, of course, in which he turned the shooting into a political opportunity seems to reveal a lot about his instincts.
Yes, there isn't a side of Trump that really enjoys whipping up the crowd, getting the mob to be enjoying the kind of ecstasy of criticism of various elements of American society, claiming that America is as bad as it's ever been, but with him it will be as great as it could ever be. So this sense of emotive politics which surrounds Trump is why some people see it as more like a cult movement than a political party. And it has very much transformed the Republican Party into much more of a party based on what we might call populist ideas or even bordering on authoritarian ideas, rather than being a party of the sort of centre-right that was for low taxes, limited government, put people like Mitt Romney forward, who'd been a former consultant at Bain Consultancy. Those days of the Republican Party seem quite a distant memory, and that was only 2012 when he was the candidate.
Those around Trump, though, of course, have been slightly less restrained than Trump himself. I'm thinking of J.D. Vance, who might end up, of course, being announced at this convention as the vice presidential candidate. He's accused the left of vilifying Trump, while saying that the fact that Trump survived the assassination attempt shows that he is chosen by God. I mean, the rhetoric is pretty extraordinary coming from certain sectors of the Republican Party.
Yes, as I suggested before, the volume's already at 11 and the conference hasn't started. So I think there is the sense that whenever something goes wrong, it's the left. That was one of the arguments put out on January 6, 2021, that people, that Antifa, the left-wing protested, had gone into the Capitol building. That wasn't true. In these events, we seem like we want to speed up time. Instead of working out if this was just a sad, lonely, very disturbed young man that shot Donald Trump, everyone's got an opinion before we've got the facts. And so this sense that everything is to be politicized, everything is to be used against your opponent, no matter what the evidence, is one of the tragedies of American politics today. And Trump, I think, has been pretty central to that, claiming Obama was born in Kenya and many other things that don't stack up, that he won the last election when the results were clearly that he lost the last election. Yeah. So we live in a world of kind of make-believe to some extent in American politics at the moment.
Yeah, and of course the absence of facts spawn a million conspiracy theories all over social media at the moment. Brendan O'Connor, many thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.